Hey, hi, hello everyone. Hi, it's me, Rodney, obviously. Tonight, what we're going to be doing, or today, whenever you're watching this, I don't really care. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be making a variation on a shock mount for a Zoom H1n recorder. So before we get started, two things. The first is you might want to check with your physician just to make sure that your heart is strong enough for the excitement that we're all about to endure. This is going to be, you're going to be pumping up with the adrenaline alone could kill you. It's like that mountain climbing movie. Another thing I wanted to point out here quickly is that this is not my original idea. This is a variation on someone else's idea. That person was named Dave Hanner, and he had a video called DIY Shock Mount for Zoom H1n. I watched that, I liked it, and I thought, well, let me play around with this and see what I can come up with. The link will be in the description. If you could do me a favor and just go over and hit the like button on Dave's video, because I'm borrowing freely from it. So, think about this. I'm building one of these because obviously I purchased a Zoom H1n recorder, got it home. I was saying, well, how do I want to get this into a holder? What could hold it? I could tape it to the back of a cat, but that's probably not a good idea. Get the SPCA in here, get strung up by my thumbs. So I was just looking around. I saw his video. So we're just going to start with what you're going to need to make one of these. And the first thing that you're going to need, get a scrap piece of wood. Don't get a good piece of wood. You don't need a really good piece of wood. Scrap piece of wood will be just fine. And then you want to cut that down to about 3.5 by 4. And he went sort of horizontal with his. I went vertical with mine. You'll see the thing when we're all done here. So when I did that, I cut that piece of wood. I found another scrap piece of wood that was roughly the length of that one. And I hung on to it because something told me I would need it later. And darn if I wasn't right. So after you get your little piece kind of cut out, you want to drill the holes for the little hooks. These are hooks that you can get anywhere, like picture hanging hooks. You want to use those. Now, I set this up early because I wanted to dry fit it. I wanted to put some rubber bands on, put in the Zoom H1n, and just see if it worked, just see if it fit nicely. So I did that. I did a dry fit test, and it failed. It wasn't bad. It was just sitting a little too close to the board, and I realized I needed to elevate it a little bit. So I thought, well, I can go to the hardware store tomorrow, which was the next day. We call that tomorrow. And I can buy some larger hooks. But when I went to the hardware store, I found these wooden dowels that you use to hold things together. So you drill them in. Like, I'm sure you bought some IKEA furniture, and you've seen these little things, and you have to put them in, and the furniture falls apart anyway, and then you wind up arguing with your significant other. It's not pleasant anyway you slice it. But anyway, I got some of these, and what I did was I figured, okay, we can use that to elevate the hooks. So I just glued them, set them over the holes that I drilled for the hooks, get them in place, and then I went from the other side and I drilled in and I put screws pretty deep into them because we're going to be putting some tension on them, and I just don't want the wooden things to pull out or pull off the glue or to snap. Like I say, I built furniture from IKEA. All right, so I drilled holes on top of the dowels, I attached the hooks, and I did dry fitting number 2, which is also the name of a film that's on Cinemax at 3 a.m. Anyway, I did dry fitting number 2, and lo and behold, it worked. It was a successful test. I was super, super happy. All right, with that successful, I saw that piece of scrap wood, and I was trying to figure out what to do with it. And it turns out that the dimensions of the width of one of the parts of it was about 5 1/8 inch. And that was perfect for slipping in to the slot on a mic stand, the clip. We'll call it the mic clip. It's probably got a more technical term called the disinfibrillator, but we'll call it the mic clip. It fit in there nicely. So what I did was laid down a strip of glue on the piece of wood that has all the shock mount stuff on it, set the strip that's going into the mic clip on top of that, let that sit, flipped it over, drill some holes, and put some screws in it just to secure it. So I've got that there right now. It is a thing. All right, with everything done and built, I had to make sure that it fit the aesthetic. For me, that's the most important thing. It needs to fit the aesthetic of my studio, which means it's got to get painted black. So I got some Minwax, the 2-in-1 poly shade. It's gloss and combined with something, I don't know, the blood of the innocent. I have no idea what they do, but it's 2 things in one. Maybe, I don't know, llama blood or llama spit, llama brains, something from a llama. Something had to happen to those llamas that were on Neverland Ranch, and they had to go somewhere. But anyway, I got that, and I went with the Gloss Classic Black. I like that because it looks like you've lacquered the thing. It's really nice. And just get in there and just, if you're going to use that, just cover the hell out of it. One thing I do, I can't believe I forgot to mention this. If you're using scrap wood, make sure you sand the hell out of it before you paint it. Really, get it nice and smooth because scrap wood is just filled with nasty little splinters. So make sure you sand the hell out of your project before you paint it. All right, then what I did was I have a bunch of little pins and stuff laying around, and I had a Plague Doctor. So in order to make it more me, I took the Plague Doctor, just pressed it against there so I could get a little hole, and then drilled the hole, and then glued the Plague Doctor in, just so it looks like something that would be in my studio. And I was happy. I was thrilled. I was running around banging on the neighbors' doors, telling them, hey, look what I made. Look, I got a Plague Doctor on this shock mount. Oh, it's beautiful. And one of my neighbors said, hey, did you ever look at the other side of that H1n? And I was like, what? So I took it home. I ran home. Somehow I got home. I don't remember. I was like being Pete Townsend in the 70s. I don't know how I got home. But anyway, I got home and looked on the other side of the Zoom H1n, and sure enough, there's a little screwy hole there that you can use to attach it to a tripod. Yeah, so I didn't know that. So a lot of this may have been for nothing, but it's a shock mount. It's a shock mount, and I can bounce around. I don't have to worry too much about noise. I'll show you right now. Look, this is it right here. You see that? Dun, 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 dun. There it is. I'm probably making... It's like the Blair Witch. I'm probably making you all ill right now, but yeah. So that's on there, and I'm pretty darn happy with it. I think I went out of focus. I've lost my focus. Anyway, so if you decide to build one or you have any questions, just ask me. I am really out of focus. I'm back in focus. If you have any questions, just let me know. And also, like I say, once again, big thanks to Mr. Dave Hanner, who actually came up with the idea. And hopefully, we'll have more of these weird little studio build things, because I'm always needing to build things. They don't make things the way I need them. I'm cranky. All right, have a good. I don't know what you people do. I mentioned that before. Whatever. Go build something. That's good. Keep idle hands are the devil's workshop, which is also what I call my studio. All right, I'll catch up with all of you at some point. So please mess around, and if you do build something, any sort of thing, just let me know. All right, thank you very much.